Assalamu alaikum. You are Toufik Sompadokio Editorial section. I am MD Sadiqur Rahman. The days of Alif, Lam, Mim. We all have our own memories of school life, but what about hostel life? Today I'm going to share a story titled The Days of Alif, Lam, Mim. It's the tale of a boy named Raju, and his journey through a year in a university hostel. Once upon a time not too long ago, a young man named Raju had just received the admit card for his dream university. Alongside his acceptance letter, there was also an admit card for the Alif Lam Mim student hostel. Being from a small town, this was his first experience of living away from home. On the day he arrived at the university, Raju was both excited and nervous. After the long journey, he finally reached the Alif Lam Mim student hostel. It looked like a giant building in front of him, and as he stood there, carrying his bag on his shoulder, he felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Little did he know that this moment marked the beginning of an incredible journey. As he stepped through the gate, he felt like he had entered a whole new world. Some students were absorbed in books, some were playing the guitar, while others were in the kitchen busily frying eggs. Everyone seemed so engrossed in their own activities. Raju couldn't help but smile at the lively scene before him. He went to the room he was assigned to find his roommate Rakib already waiting for him. Rakib was from the same city as Raju, so it felt like a bit of familiarity in this completely new environment. Brother, to survive here, you need 3 things, Rakib said with a playful grin, extending his hand for a handshake. Adjustment, patience, and your own cup and mug. Raju couldn't help but chuckle at this. Was this a hostel or an army training camp? But he knew that Rakib was just joking. And deep down, Raju was excited to begin his new chapter. As the days went by, he started to explore this unfamiliar world. Mornings were filled with the hustle and bustle of everyone rushing to their classes. In the evenings, when the sun began its descent, the hostel came alive with a different kind of energy. The corridors echoed with laughter and animated conversations as the students returned from their day. At night, there were gossip sessions, jokes, and sometimes even poetry readings. The air was thick with the aroma of various spices and aromas wafting from the kitchen as each person cooked their favorite dishes. It was a delightful blend of flavors and a testament to the diversity of their culinary traditions. When the electricity went out, which happened quite frequently, everyone would head to the rooftop, sipping hot tea under the blanket of stars. They shared stories and dreams, making the darkness feel just a little less daunting. Those nights were pure moments of joy and camaraderie. One day, as Raju sat in the common room, watching his friends play cards, he found himself thinking about how different his life had become since coming to Alif Lam Mim. He missed his family, the familiar streets of his hometown, and the warmth of his mother's cooking. There were times when the weight of being away from everything he'd known pressed down on him. The initial excitement of hostile life had given way to a mix of emotions, but then something unexpected happened that changed everything. One evening, before the sunset painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, Raju was sitting in the common room, lost in his thoughts when he heard a commotion outside. He went to the window and saw a group of students gathered around. Curiosity got the better of him, and he stepped out to join them. It turned out to be a simple yet heartwarming sight. To students, Javed and Sabuj were celebrating their birthdays together. The room buzzed with excitement as they cut the cake and sang the birthday song. The atmosphere was filled with laughter and joy, and for a moment Raju felt a surge of happiness. He might be far from home, but he was surrounded by friends who had become like family. As the year passed, the seasons changed. The leaves turned golden, then red, and finally fell to the ground, blanketing the campus in a rich, warm carpet. Each day brought new challenges and triumphs, moments of laughter and times of quiet reflection. Then there were the times before exams, when the calm of the hostel was shattered by the rustle of turning pages and whispered conversations. All through the night, the soft glow of study lamps illuminated the faces of determined students poring over books. In the hushed quiet of the night, the ticking of the old clock seemed amplified, keeping time with the relentless whispers of studying. Friendships were tested, nerves were frayed, but together they persevered. There were times when the heat in the small room made sleeping almost impossible. Restless nights were spent fanning themselves with old magazines or sharing horror stories in the dim light to scare away the heat and the boredom. Occasionally someone would fall sick and the entire hostel would rally around, nursing them back to health. It was a bond of brotherhood forged in the crucible of shared experiences. Through it all, Raju blossomed. He learned to cook simple meals, mend his own clothes, and find solace in the smallest of things. The year at Alif Lam Mim was more than just a chapter in his academic life. It was a crash course in life itself. One evening, as the sun cast long shadows across the campus, Raju sat on the steps leading to the main building. He was watching a group of younger students playing cricket with a worn-out ball. A sense of contentment washed over him as he observed their carefree laughter. He found himself reflecting on how far he'd come in the past year. He realized that hostel life wasn't just about the friendships forged or the challenges overcome. It was about the personal growth that occurred in the quiet moments of solitude and the shared experiences that became the soundtrack of his life. He had discovered a strength within himself that he never knew existed. The year in Alif Lam Mim had taught him resilience, adaptability, and the true meaning of friendship. The thought struck him with the force of revelation. A hostel wasn't merely a place to stay. It was a melting pot of cultures, ambitions, and dreams. It was a second home where the walls bore silent witness to hopes and aspirations. At the end of the year, when Raiju went home for the holidays, his heart kept pulling him back to the hostel. He missed the rooftop chats with newfound friends, the late-night discussions that stretched into the early hours of the morning, the shared meals that tasted better because they were eaten in the company of others. In the quiet of his room, surrounded by the familiar comforts of home, he found himself longing for the simplicity of hostel life. The chipped mugs, the mismatched furniture, and the worn-out mattresses. They had become more than just objects. They had become symbols of the journey he had been through. As the days passed, Raju poured his thoughts and feelings into his diary. Words flowed onto the pages, capturing the essence of those unforgettable days. He wrote about the aroma of spices that danced in the air, the symphony of laughter that echoed in the corridors, and the comfort of knowing that no matter what, they had each other. Finally, he wrote, "The real beauty of hostel life is getting to know people closely and discovering the person within yourself." Thank you very much.